Welcome to the NAO show. We're here with the Grooze Crews. We got Marky Mark, we got Mike, and we got Swamp Dick. No, that's Humpback. No, that's Ricky Bobby. Look at this guy. Welcome to the show, Rick.
What's up, guys?
How are y'all doing, y'all?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Doing okay.
I was doing all right until I saw those pea shooters over there in the tank top.
I sold
If you
my
don't wear a
home
tank
gym.
top, you got to hit the gym, brother.
I sold my home gym.
I
Hasn't worked out for
don't believe
months.
that.
I don't blame you. It wasn't giving you any results.
Maybe you should find a gym too.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it.
Jeez. Gonna start out the show with a fight.
Nah, we're just making some good fun. All right, Mark, what do we got up first?
Well, I think we wanted to talk to Ricky a little bit before we get into things here, right? So,
Yeah.
you
Ricky.
want to?
I think our wonderful listeners are gonna want to know a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little about yourself.
Open book, man. What do you want to know?
How'd you get into fantasy football?
Stupidity. I had a friend talk me into it when I was in the military once. And he's like, we're going to do this league. You should join. You know a lot about football. You watch it all the time. So he talked me in. I did all right. I came in third the first year, and then we played again, every year. I was in that league for almost 10 years before we stopped doing it. And it was fun. I mean, it was different than this because it was a 2 QB system where you started 2 quarterbacks each week.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that we are not going to a super flex again. Let the record be known. Go ahead.
I'm good. I like the way it is. But it was fun. I mean, the best season I've ever had in fantasy football was the year the Colts and the Saints went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And it was playing 2 QB systems. I had Manning and Breeze.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a good year.
I had the 10th pick in the draft, the first round. So first round I took Manning and turned right back around and took Breeze. And everybody looked at me like I was retarded.
Wait. Is a super flex league and Manning made it all the way to 10?
Yep.
Were you playing with a bunch of schlubs? Like, what are we doing here?
Clubs.
I mean, they were taking running backs and wide receivers. Everybody was. And I was like, well, I'm going to take the best 2 quarterbacks.
Got to get it in a 2 QB
Got to get
league,
the
man.
quarterbacks in a super flex.
I love that, Ricky. Now that you're in it, do you love it? Are you glad that you got into it?
Oh, hell no. I regret every day of it.
Well, I just, I got a similar story. I got talked into it as well. I didn't think I'd ever play it, but I was talking to all these fantasy guys, and they're like, so how you doing in your league? And I was never in a league, so I got talked into it too. And now I'm an addict and love it. So I can imagine you got kind of a similar story there.
I love football, so it's fun. Sundays, you check out all the games. Thursday night gives you a reason to watch some Thursday night games because they're not good football games.
Not usually.
But you might have a chance of one of your guys being on the field. So it does that. It brings that part of the game for me, and I just like watching football, so I'll watch, I don't care who's playing anyways. I
think I can agree with that. When I started playing fantasy football back in, 2006, 2005, something like that, I started watching every game, and I became a super fan. Like, I didn't know anybody other than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know what I mean? Or the Saints, because we played the freaking Saints twice a year, and they were always the team that we wanted to beat. So I knew them pretty well. But when I picked up fantasy football, I started watching and learning other players. So it made me a bigger fan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what it does. You got any championships, Ricky?
I've won one.
One? Okay, good deal.
One.
Was that
I came close. The year I had that both Breeze and Manning. I mean, I was murdered. I went undefeated all season, was killing everybody. Get to the championship game, and that was the way they'd set it up. That was actually the last week of the season, and they sat both quarterbacks.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's why you don't have championships. You don't play the last week. That's not cool, man.
So it killed me. I lost the championship.
Yeah.
So Ricky, how'd you get into this league, man? What
Evan
brought you to this one?
Evan talked me into it.
Is this your first dynasty?
Well, we started one last year. Evan started one, got me going with it. So he and I are in 2 of them. Ian's in that one also. And it was interesting. It's different playing dynasty format.
Yeah.
But I enjoy this side of it more than a redraft league because I like having, I guess it's a little more skin in the game. And there's always the trading's a little more intense in this than there is in a redraft. And there's more. It continues. It's always flowing. So I like that aspect of it.
If you're doing it right, it should be year round. And this league has been awesome in participation year round so far.
Y'all are welcome, by the way, because I know I start most of the conversations.
You can think that.
Every
Let me
morning
ask you a question there, Rick. Mike and I, this is our first dynasty, and I don't know about Mike, but I'm only in this dynasty. How do you compare the NAO to your other dynasty? I know Mark is in a Siemens dynasty also.
Yeah.
You're in a what dynasty?
My company name, Siemens.
That's unfortunate.
Don't let your mind go there. Don't let your mind go there. Yeah.
The submarine company?
No, that's how I think. Electrical switchgear. That's where I started in Dynasty, and they're not doing it right in that league. That's why we got this league started, because we wanted to do it right.
That stuff going everywhere.
Yeah.
Siemens. That's unfortunate. I'd rebrand the hell out of that name.
Well, our founder's name was Werner von Siemens, so we just go by Siemens.
So the other league we're in, it's all right. They're not as active. It's not every day in the chat like we are. They're starting to get a little more going right now, but it's not the same as this. Even in the season, it wasn't as, I guess there wasn't as punchy. There wasn't as much cutting up and joking around. Mm-hmm. The chat was pretty much business chat.
Ooh.
And,
I'll tell you what, Rick, this chat's gonna blow up once season starts. Like,
I don't think we've really stopped. Actually, there wasn't really an off season.
Yeah, there was. I would agree with it. There wasn't no downtime really. There was maybe like a week where we were like, "So what's going on, y'all?" And then that was about it. And then we started getting into the rookie draft and everything.
Dude, honest to God, I'm always looking when we hit about 17 hours where we don't have anything in chat. I'm like, are we really going to make 24 hours? We never make 24 hours. Never. And Ricky has brought a lot to that. Every morning I heard that first beat, that first alert. It's usually humpback swamp donkey shared an attachment or something,
So I don't have notifications on. I can't do if I did, I'd lose my mind throughout the day.
Man, it's a lot. I was on vacation last couple of days and my phone's in my pocket, just beep, 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 beep. Like, damn, man.
I turned off the notifications for both leagues as soon as we started. So I'll go in there and look. Because like Evan one day is like, man, are you seeing everything's going to chat? And I was like, no, I'm busy. I've got ball practice. I've been in the gym for the last 4 hours. I have no clue what y'all are talking about.
Yeah. Well, Sean, let's move on if we want to get to
Let's kick off some of these whopping trades. We got one good one on the docket. The other one's a freaking piss in the wind, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's talk about our first one here. So, all right, we've got the Overbites. Is that that's Overdog's just a bad name, guys. You got to change.
It's a horrible name.
Well, I'm going with
it in the chat. I vomit every time that word just comes.
I don't appreciate the matching pictures either.
It's like two dicks touching. It's so horrible. Like, what?
Sean, aren't you the one that said to watch the language? Jeez, man, look at you.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's talk about this trade. For the Overbites, they receive Odell Beckham Jr. and a 2023 fourth rounder. And in return, Take Top Mike received Tyler Boyd and a 2022 third. I'm going to let our guests go first. Ricky, you want to tell us what you think about that trade?
Mike, you should have asked for a fifth back. You couldn't do it without a fifth. That would have been the first thing you have to do in that situation.
I'm going to start asking for it only from them. I need fifths.
Yeah. But it's like any dog. You got to housebreak it. You got to smack it around a few times when it shits in the house. That's pretty much what they're doing. It wasn't a bad trade. I think both sides ended up decent on that. I'm not huge on Beckham. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank.
Right.
And that injury last year, really, it's one of those, him and McCaffrey, those injuries are hard to come back from what they did. So I'm just not sure how much he's got left in him. So I guess I'll lean more towards Mike.
Towards Mike. Okay. What do you think, Sean?
I'm gonna have to agree with our guest here. I think OBJ. I think his best days are behind him, unfortunately, which is sad for me to say, being an LSU fan. I really thought he was going to go to Cleveland and light it up, but I think he's more of a hindrance than he is anything. I think the end of the year last year really showed that. And I think moving him for a guy that has really good upside. I think Boyd is wide receiver 3 in Cincinnati, obviously, with Higgins and Chase there, but he could definitely see some checkdowns and get some yards after the catch, which would be nice. I think it was a good trade for there, Mike.
The only problem I have with is he's going to be one of those guys that's going to feast or famine. He'll have
Yeah,
great
he's gonna-
weeks where he puts
he's
up
definitely gonna
15
be that.
points, but he's going to have
Tyler
weeks where
Lockett
you're going to
type.
get 5 or 6 out of him. So it's going to be a matchup thing. I think you have to look at Mike.
Well, Mike, tell us your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, really, you guys kind of hit on what I was going after. I like Beckham, but I'm wondering if I just like his name now and not really what he's, going to be doing on the field. It's just that kind of thing. And I wanted to move on from Beckham before the season started. He is kind of a gamble. He might come back and do fine, but I felt like his value is probably only going to go down. So I wanted to move on from him or Landry. Having both is obviously not great.
Right.
But yeah, I think Sean was right. I think I put Boyd at obviously the wide receiver 3 behind those two guys. But I think, if Boyd plays a slot, Burrow likes checkdowns. It might be a hot take. I don't know. But I think Boyd could actually out-target either Higgins or Chase this year. Potentially not outscore. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm saying out-target. Just because of some of those checkdowns and those two guys on the outside clearing that out. So, yeah, going for a little upside and, unfortunately moving on from Beckham.
Before you give your point there, Mark, I got a question for the group here. When a wide receiver hits that 26 to 27 years of age, do you think it's more of a what have you done for me now instead of a we need to hold on to that guy, that type thing, kind of like what you did with OBJ?
It depends on the receiver. Like DeAndre Hopkins, I'd hold on to him until he dies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how old he is. I traded in my other league. I traded for Julio Jones yesterday. I don't care if Julio Jones be 56 years old and a walker. If he's on a field, I'm going to give him a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That dude's just magical. So you got guys like that. I mean, look at what kind of numbers did Rice put up in his 40s?
Oh, yeah.
He still was a solid wide receiver. So it depends on the guy.
It does, and that's actually a good age. That's a lot of times when some of the best production comes out of receivers, kind of post 25, before they hit 30. Those years are good years for some of these guys. Look at Stephon Diggs there last year too, kind of hitting that same age and really jumping up in the production. Of course, different team and probably more opportunity than he was getting there, but
And a quarterback that doesn't have a wet noodle.
Well, I don't buy the narrative that some people are saying that Browns were better without Beckham. I think really it was just they were getting used to the offense and Mayfield kind of hit his stride, and it just so happened that Beckham wasn't in there anymore. I don't know that he's washed, but I know it's a run-heavy team, and I think that injury is going to be tough to come back from. So I would have, if I had Beckham, I would have been looking for that name recognition, trying to move on. And Boyd is not a bad guy. And Mike, if he can out target one of those other guys, it's going to be some consistency there. You might have a good flex. You short up your flex.
Short it up.
But Boyd was he was a wide receiver 1 before Burrow went down. He was killing it, man. And even
Green was on the field too.
Yeah, and so by the end of the season, what did he finish? 27. Yeah, he was the wide receiver 27. No, I'm sorry, he was the 29. I'm sorry, he was 29. But he's number 4 in the league in slot snaps. He was number 22 in targets, number 11 in red zone targets. He had 8 receptions on 16 targets. Number 21 in yak. So he's got some good numbers. I remember last year, the guy that you took over for, Ricky, has a podcast, and he said, Boyd is so vanilla. I just don't like Boyd. He's just so vanilla. And I'm like, I made a comment. I was like, I got him in the other league, and I'll take vanilla every day, man, because he was getting double-digit points every week in my flex spot, So I like the trade for you, Mike. I think I think he'll be the number 2. I think it might be Chase, Boyd, Higgins. They'll probably all be close. So I think it's a real good trade. I like that. I like him. Yeah, I like him. I'd rather have him than Beckham at this point right now, I think so.
I want to point out, like, I really appreciate Mark's studious effort here. Like, every show, he's got all the stats and the numbers, and, he's 32nd in red zone targets on the left side of the field, inside 5 yards of the end zone. Like,
And the sun is at the 1 o'clock position.
And when they wear the white jerseys, I didn't tell you, when they wear the white jerseys, man, he's killing it. So
It's baseball stats just in
yeah,
fantasy.
yeah. Well, I think a lot of people have perception of him as not a top receiver, but some of those numbers on a year where he only had his top quarterback for 10 games, I think that's some good numbers. So that was the point.
Great move, Mike. Good move.
I think
Thank
so.
you.
All right.
don't neglect the next trade.
Yeah, let's go to the exciting trade. That one was kind of vanilla. That was vanilla. Let's go to the exciting trade here. We had the overbites. Overachievers. The overachievers.
Overrated.
Overrated. There you go. Overrated. The overrateds got a 5th round pick from FNG, and they sent Timmy Tebow. I'll start us off again, Ricky. Tell us what you think about that one.
I mean, Tebow's going to lead the league in Bible verses. In no other category. I mean, that's it. I just don't get it. First off, I didn't know why anybody sign him. Second off, FNG, dude, what are you thinking? Like, I understand that roster's shit already, but good Lord, you didn't have to make it worse.
Kind of made me wonder if it was just all a joke, It's kind of funny the way the trade came about, saying, hey, my husband's away. So it's like the wife who's mad with a husband, and she does some passive aggressive stuff to get back at him, and let me hurry up and trade for Timmy while he's gone. So it was kind of funny the way it came about, but I agree with Ricky. What do you think there, Sean?
I have 2 questions. My first one is, how many slivers are going to be in Tebow's butt for sitting on that bench all freaking season if he makes the pick?
Yeah, I was going to say none because he won't be there.
He'll be on that practice squad if he makes any squad. And second, if Brandon is under, does that mean his wife takes over responsibility of his team and that trade is actually null and void because she did not accept it?
I don't know.
Or is she the actual boss of the house and she actually makes all those trades actually?
I've always wondered how that dynamic works between the two of them. Like, does one of them wear the pants and the other one, I don't know. It's an odd situation there.
Yeah.
You can wear the pants all she wants. I'm cool with women's rights, what have you, but it's interesting because he was like he was like non-coherent, and he owns half that team. So did all those trades have to go through her? It was interesting thought to think about.
So technically, does he own half the team or all the team, the majority, because he's the only one that could draft during the rookie draft?
I think we've come to the conclusion that Evan is like the coach and Brandon is the GM. You know what I mean? Like, Brandon needs to give the, to all trades.
A lot of war room arguments, huh?
That's an interesting take on that.
Any thoughts, Mike?
I think if it was a serious trade, it was hot dog shit, as we say. If it was a joke, it wasn't very funny.
I don't get it. They didn't tell it right.
Well,
all
now
right.
we got through all that BS, especially that last trade. What was that, Mike?
Hot dog shit.
Hot dog shit. That's what it
You
was.
wouldn't know that. I've seen like 2 little things running around in the background behind you.
Yeah,
you got a couple mutts running through there.
Yeah, it's probably one of them.
That's where you got the idea.
Yeah.
He's a connoisseur. He knows a lot about it, all right? He can tell it from a mile. All right, Ricky, we're going to get into your rebuild. How do you feel about that?
It's been interesting. It's been an adventure. I guess it's the best way to put it. When I got this team, I looked at it, I was like, it's not a bad team, but it's not a team I want. Like there were some pieces on there that are good players. They're not players I'm fond of, or I think are going to have decent seasons next year. So I was quick to trade off as much as I could, as quick as I could. And I picked up the thing that ticked me off more than anything when I took the team over was the lack of draft capital.
Yeah.
Like there was, I think I had 3 draft picks, I think, in this year's draft. No first rounders in the next 3 drafts I had, or 2, maybe 2 draft classes. Only 1 second rounder in those 2 draft classes. And it was rough. Like I was looking at that team, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make, this turd sandwich into something edible.
Yeah, the history of the squad was he traded a lot to get Saquon. I think that's where a lot of that draft capital went. And then,
Then he gave Saquon away.
Yeah. Of course, Saquon went down and he didn't get to use him. And I think it was a win now mentality, and it all kind of went to hell for him.
So it was when I looked at the roster and looked at the team, I wasn't overly thrilled. So I had the fire sale that first 3 days I was in the league.
That's a great point. When you first took over the team, when you were looking down through the draft, your roster, and you're saying, all right, time to fire sale, who was the first person you were looking at to get rid of?
Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, first one. Right? I want him gone.
So most people would want a rookie running back of JT's caliber in a rebuild. It was interesting that you wanted to move him.
If Indianapolis would have done anything besides trade for Carson Wentz, I'd have kept him. But when you bring the glass man back there trying to throw the football, then I have no faith in that offense right now. I think Indianapolis went backwards from Phillip Rivers now to Carson Wentz. They'd have been better off, in my opinion, if they'd stuck with who's the backup, the guy that had before.
Eason?
Not Eason, the other one.
Brissett.
Yeah, they stayed with Brissett. I think they've been better off. I'm not a Wentz fan at all. So I just think defenses will be able to key on him more this year, and you won't see as friendly a box as you did last year for him. And that's going to make it difficult for him to get some easy lanes. I like the offensive line in Indianapolis. I think they're great. And I think Taylor's a good running back. I think he's going to guarantee 1,000-yard season, probably double-digit touchdowns. But he's a guy that I wanted out of there because I knew I'd be able to get the best return for him. And I was looking for draft capital.
Yeah.
So you said 1,000 yards, double-digit TDs. What else are you looking for in a running back?
Well, it's not that I think there's any bad about that. I just needed draft capital, and I knew that was the only piece I had that I would get good draft capital for.
All right.
And then Evan offered me the Cam Akers trade, and that was just – I don't know if it was him feeling sorry for getting me in here with that crap team or what, but that Cam Akers trade was too good to pass up.
I think Evan he just wanted him. He couldn't make any trades with the former owner, former manager. So he just wanted to make a trade with that team, I think. That was a fix. That was just a fix for him.
So those 2 trades right there, actually, I felt that put me in a better position. And then I started selling off anybody and everybody else because the rest of that team was, using sleeveless Mike up there, hot dog shit. And that was where the rebuild started. And I honestly had a good feel in the draft. I wanted, it's no secret, I wanted Pitts. I thought that's who I was going to be able to get. And I was targeting him when I had the 3rd pick in the draft. The conversation we had about trading that pick out or the 4th pick in the draft.
4th pick, yeah.
4th pick. Conversation trading that out was dude that had the team before FNG, he's not traded with anybody. He's got 3 good tight ends on his team. He's not going to draft Pitts. He needs a running back, so I can move out of 4 because I knew, that person wasn't, you weren't taking Pitts there. We'd had that conversation. And then, 4 days before the draft, dude drops out, FNG comes in, and Evan swoops in and takes the pick.
Yep.
I hated the timing of that. And that makes a lot more sense now because I wondered why you traded, if you wanted Pitts, why you would trade that pick away. Now I get what you were saying. You were looking at the former owner, not FNG.
Because I made the trade before FNG came in.
Right.
Like that was the thing, is like
Right,
we were looking at it, draft was coming up. I
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
I was solid. And then dude's like, nope, I'm done. Peace out. And the FEG comes in and gives Evan. And this, I'll tell you the truth, this is what kind of pissed me off about the whole situation. Is I was talking to him.
Let's get in
and
it.
I said, I understand you're getting offers for this pick. Let me know. I will beat whatever offer you get. And the next thing I know, he accepts Evan's offer. He didn't even say shit. I was like, dude, I was so mad. Because I wanted Pitts, and then Evan takes Pitts, and I'm sitting there at 6. And I'm looking, I'm like, what am I going to do? I have the rebuild I had in my mind is just blown up.
I remember you posting that you thought Pitts was the best
I think he's the best
player in the draft. Yeah, so that makes
You're not the only person that thought that.
Yeah,
it's great that that's a great segue there, Ricky, because I wanted to ask you what you thought. Like, you came in full rebuild on your mind. You got to get draft capital, what have you, you know. You're doing great. You're moving all your pieces, getting those picks that you need to rebuild the team from the ground up. And then you get there to 6, and I'm over here going, hey, I'll give you Diggs for 2 first-round picks. What were you thinking then?
When you sent that offer, because I was trying to figure out what I was going to do at 6, that was about to be a 24-hour pick, guys. I'm going to let y'all know. That pick was about to take a full day, because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to piece my team the way I want it, because everything I had planned, it just got blown up.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there racking my brain, and you send the offer for Diggs. And Diggs is a solid wide receiver.
Yes, he is.
He's, in my opinion, a top 3 receiver in the league right now.
Yeah. I
agree. When you send that offer in, I started thinking to myself, I think I can, instead of building for the future, I might be able to make this a win now team.
Mm-hmm.
So I took your trade offer, and then I made the trade for Henry right after that and got him. And my whole mindset changed on how this team's going to look and what I'm trying to do. So I went from, maybe playing for in that final 4 of the shit bags, or like I told Evan the other day, I think I'll end up being in somewhere in that maybe 4, 5, or 6 range in the league.
In the hunt, anyway. In the hunt. Yeah.
Like I might not make it to the playoffs, but I'm gonna run somebody's season.
You very well could.
That's what I'm doing this
Actually,
year.
Ian, let y'all know, shitbird, week 14, you got a ton of people on bye. I'm gonna spank that ass.
Yeah, let's go.
I think Sean would enjoy that. Mike, did you have any specific
every week then? Golly.
Mike, did you have any specific
I always
questions?
pick against Ian because fuck him.
I guess I didn't have any specific questions. I just want to point out, this is what's cool about coming on, like just hearing a little bit of the backstory about some of the moves you've made. I know we got dogged a little bit for, some of the things we said about some of your individual trades, after the show airs. But man, it makes a lot of sense. I think this is kind of cool, hearing a little bit about that, and it makes a lot of sense. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of.
That's all right, man. Y'all guys are playing checkers. I'm playing chess.
Well, I never said I was very good at this either.
I mean, let's not go that far.
You answered.
You say 4 to 6, and I say 6 to 8 for you, but that's okay.
It's possible.
I didn't even know you were interested in Pitt, so that's some tidbit that I learned today. I didn't even know you were trying to go for Pitts.
In the other league I'm in, I actually had the first 3 picks in the draft.
So you got Pitts there, right?
Yeah, so I ended up getting Harris, Chase, and Pitts.
Nice. I got Pitts at number 3 in my other dynasty league there. So
I took you 1 just so
Yeah, just to I probably would have done something similar just to make it fun.
So a little bit about Ricky and I's trade on rookie draft day. I wanted 6 and 7. Ricky wouldn't give me 7, and he only would give me 6 and 10. Funny thing is the guy that you drafted at 7 probably would have been there at 10. Because I was going to go Waddle Smith, and then who was it? Silly Dilly? That was the next guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Dilly Dilly already knew who he was getting, and Goofy Jace was going to take Trevor Lawrence. We all knew that.
Oh yeah.
Mark said that like 9 months before it even happened that was going to happen. So your running back was going to be there at 10.
Could have been, but he got there at 7.
You got there at 7.
What do you think about him? What's your thoughts on him? Do you think he's going to be the number one there?
Oh yeah, I think he'll be the number 1 of the Jets. I think.
Are you concerned about here's some of my stats again. Are you concerned about the pass protection? He's been pretty bad in that, and that keeps rookies off the field.
It does, but I think he's got more upside than anybody else in that roster running the football, that they're going to have to find ways to get him out there. Plus, he catches the ball so well in the backfield.
Yeah,
you don't need him to protect the quarterback. You need him to release so he can dump off to him.
Yeah.
That's his job's not going to be sitting there picking up a blitzer. His job's going to get in the flat so he can dump it to you because no one else can get open besides Corey Davis, hopefully streaking down the sideline. That's going to be their game plan this year. Let's throw deep to Corey or check it down.
Yeah. I like Carter. I just the size and the pass pro and I'm wondering if he'll be like a workhorse back, and the guy coming in.
Workhorse. I don't think he'll be that guy.
No, it's the San Francisco system with LaFleur, so it's going to be probably a committee kind of thing.
But I think he's going to get you all those receptions, especially junk time receptions, that they're going to be on. Everybody's going to be protecting deep, not letting you throw anything over top, and they'll check down to him to get some easy yards.
Yeah.
So would you say that he has kind of like a Joe Mixon upside in the receptions and usage type deal?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to say. I think, honestly, his ceiling could be Kamara. I think it could be that. I think it could be that level. Because I like the comparison of those two in college. A lot of people were giving. And I think that he could have that kind of impact.
That's a good comparison, because I think he's like Kamara. He'll probably get more in the receiving game than he does on the ground, but he'll get enough carries to be relevant there. Get enough touches. It's going to be about touches,
I don't care how he touches the football. If you hand it to him or toss it to him.
Just get it.
Honestly, in our league, I'd rather you toss it to him. That's another half point.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about Henry. You traded for Henry. Of course, he's on your team. I know you love having him probably, but do you think his luck is gonna hold out? He's 5 years. He's missed 2 games. He's averaging 300 carries a season for the last 3 years. I'd love to see him do back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons. How do you feel about that? Do you think he can do it? Is he the exception to the rule, or is he going to break down?
I hate jumping onto hype trains.
Yeah.
I feel like we're about to jump on the train, though. Did we lose Ricky?
I think he froze.
This is the first time we had somebody freeze. Everybody freak out. Ah!
How about that tank top though, Mike?
Yeah.
Everybody, we'll have everybody look at that. I hope he gets back in here, man. I wanted to hear that Henry tape.
I don't think he's ever gonna hit 2,000 yards again, especially not back to back.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike? Maybe Ricky will get back in here, but what do you think about Henry? Like I said, man, two games in 5 years. That's amazing.
I think he keeps working out like that. He won't make it to the season.
Yeah. That's what concerns me too. I think it was a good time to sell him. I told you guys I hated that it didn't seem like FNG got enough for him, but this was the time to sell him when the hype train is, in full swing. But it's not really likely that he can keep it up at that age and with all the carries he's had here. But I see Ricky coming back in here in a minute, so we'll see what he says. But
Finish your thought.
no, I just
I don't know what happened. Some error popped up on the screen. So
yeah, that's fine. So you said something about the hype train. Let's hear it.
So I follow him on Instagram. I watch his workouts every day. I've never seen, and I've had friends that play in the league, and I've known several guys that do it. I've never seen a monster like this in the gym. Like, he lives to work out every single day of his life, and the stuff he can do is just it's hard to believe. And then you look at how fast he is. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're talking. Shannon Sharp said during the season he looks like he's 265 pounds. He runs 22 miles an hour. Like,
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Yeah, it's not
What's a
fair.
middle linebacker coming down at you at
Yeah.
22 miles?
That's why
Tackling him towards, tackling him late in the year, that's business decision time, boys.
That's
You just ain't doing it. Like I don't want to be a highlight reel. Ask the Lions boy and ask that old boy up in Buffalo. You don't want to get stuck on that reel where you're on repeat all season.
They show that every time Henry gets brought up. Him just chucking
They
that.
should. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is he works out so hard. And I listened to an interview with Vrabel the other day, and they were asking Vrabel, y'all going to bring back, maybe bring his carries back down a little bit, get him in the 270 to maybe 300 range. And Vrabel goes, we're going to hand him the ball as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't even worry about how many touches he has. There's nobody keeping track on the sideline. He's always got 26 touches this game. We got to stop it. Nope. Just keep handing the ball because nobody wants. You'll tackle him in the first quarter, but come the fourth quarter,
it's going to take
a train. Just let it go.
Yeah. I hope he does it, man. He's an extreme outlier already. If he does it for another year, it's just going to be amazing. I'm pulling for him, but
game. Now he's got
the extra game. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But I am worried about the usage, man. He's taking a lot of wear and tear, even as big as he is and as hard as he works out. It's a lot
but
of
you
wear
look
and
at his
tear.
first two seasons, he didn't touch the ball much.
Right. No, I know.
Marco Murray was the bell cow when he first came to the league.
Yeah.
So even though he's been in the league 5 years now, he's really only had 3 years of actual, carries. And then he played at Bama. He only really saw the footballs last year there. So it's not like he's seen a ton of touches.
True. It's not
6'4", 240 to 290 pounds. Who knows? What small child he ate that day and how much he weighs.
Well, that's our show, Ricky. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you talking to your rebuild.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
We're just going to end it the way we end it. We're just dudes.
Talking about other dudes.
That's good.
I forgot it.
I told you we were going to blow it, man.
You suck.
So good.